What's going on, everybody? Weston Hodkiewicz here at PackersNews.com, joined alongside our Packers correspondent, Eric Baranczyk. Going to break down the defensive line today and the four free agents that the Packers have: Ryan Pickett, B.J. Raji, C.J. Wilson, and also Johnny Jolly. First thing I want to start with, Eric, number one question people have asked me throughout the course of the season, whether it was our Packer chats, either emails, phone calls, what have you, is what happened to the Packers defensive line that second half of the season with how well they played those first 5-6 weeks of the year. From what you observed, what do you think the difference was with the Packers, and where did they fall short at the end of the season?
Well, the way that their scheme is, especially when they go to their nickel, when they only have two down linemen, is that the defensive linemen got to eat up blockers. And what happened was, as the season went along, is that teams they quit double teaming on that point of attack. So what that does is the offensive lineman, instead of two guys blocking the down lineman, there's one guy blocking, the other offensive lineman can get off and pick off backers. That's not A.J. Hawk's strong suit. He's be able to run through blocks. So that was a big disappointment for what happened. Is this need to be more active. They need to be able to get off blocks and demand that double team. They need to make sure that offenses respect them and have to double team at the point of attack to give their linebackers a chance to scrape. The second thing is that when that nickel, when they 2010, 2011, 2009, when they were strong against the run, especially in the nickel package, they had Charles Woodson that was playing probably at the top of his career. Right. So not having that nickel back, you know, when you had Charles Woodson, he was basically another linebacker with a smaller number. They didn't have that. As athletic and as good as Micah Hyde was as a rookie, he was not finishing plays either on the blitz or being able to knife through and take running backs down. So you combine those two issues, and that's really what happened to the running game, is the lack of production out of their defensive linemen. And they're not asking those guys to make tackles. They're asking them to be disruptive and make sure that the offensive line, whether it be a guard and center or a guard and tackle, to be able to double team and maintain that double team and not just be a chip so that he can get off to the linebacker.
So let me ask you this, Eric. They have some tough decisions to make. Ryan Pickett's already said he'll be 34, 35 next season. He's already said he wants to keep playing. B.J. Raji, there's a big market for his services based on previous reports. You also have a guy like Johnny Jolly, despite the neck injury, who played pretty well at times. Can you pick out any of those guys that you think the Packers should bring back, or if their price is right, that they'd be worth having back in the fold?
Well, I think C.J. Wilson comes back. Yeah. I think the price, the value there is going to be makes sense. I mean, he's not a star player, but I think he's going to be good enough for them and not a high-ticket guy. I think it's going to be really hard to pay the big dollars to B.J. Raji. They're going to have to get production out of that first-round draft pick this year. And they may have to pick up a free agent, but I think Raji and Pickett is going to be difficult to keep both of them. If they pick B.J. Raji, you know, it's probably going to be a short contract because he's going to want bigger dollars, and they're probably ready to give him. And his production last year certainly took a step back in a contract year, which is surprising.
Right.
And with Jolly, you know, I think he's a value type guy too. That they can get at a price that's reasonable to bring him back, if not for anything other than just some leadership during training camp.
I want to thank Eric for stopping by with us here at the PackersNews.com. Stay tuned here for all your Packers news and coverage throughout the offseason. Until next time, we'll see you later.